A cardboard scrap on the frontage road where I had stopped for gas. In a Texas town off the interstate, beneath the railroad overpass, I could see his boot prints in the sand, and right there where he'd stood, a cardboard sign said, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food. We'll cowboy for food. These are hard times out on the range. We'll cowboy for food." Lord, I hope a sign like that will always strike me as strange. He did not want a handout. He could work and he would. He held up a sign that read, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food." Was there a note of resignation in the words of that sign? Was it an act of desperation at the end of the line? Was he out there on his own, or was his family just out of view? When he stood there with a sign that said, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food. We'll cowboy for food. These are hard times out on the range. We'll cowboy for food." Lord, I hope a sign like that will always strike me as strange. He did not want a handout. He could work and he would. He held up a sign that read, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food." I hope some rancher picked him up, and I hope he ate that day, for I thought of him at my next meal when I bowed my head to pray. In my mind's eye I saw the sign, and you know my heart was moved to pray for the soul who wrote those words, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food. We'll cowboy for food. These are hard times out on the range. We'll cowboy for food." Lord, I hope a sign like that will always strike me as strange. He did not want a handout. He could work and he would. He held up a sign that said, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food." It's hard enough in the good times to make a decent living, and on another day it might be me or you standing where he stood, holding up a sign that says, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food." The cardboard sign said, "Hungry, we'll cowboy for food." You better close them on up, 'cause they're starting to spread. These dogies got roaming in their heads. A whoopie-tie-I-O, move them up the road, riding for 30 and found. Across the Red River and you know we're Montana bound. Cook is in the wagon, can't you hear him sing? Me I'm dragging behind the Wrangler string. Throw a hula hand loops at your pony's hooves, dally like a top cow head. Here's a little critter that escaped the springtime brand. My, oh my, dried apple pie, sourdough biscuits, coffee in a can. We're all partaking, corn, dodger, and bacon, cookies, beef stew, potatoes, beans, and ham. Started out in Texas by the Rio Grande, heading up to Montana where the tall trees stand. Pull your blanket tight, see the northern lights shining like a dream of time. Sing a quiet song when you bed the cattle down. Oh, I miss my mama and I miss my pa. I miss our home back in Arkansas, where the boss is tough and the ground is rough. I'm sleeping beneath the stars, and Lord, I never thought I'd ever ride this far. My, oh my, I hate dried apple pie, sourdough biscuits, coffee in a can. Oh, I'm making from partaking, corn, dodger, and bacon, stringy beef stew, more beans than a man can stand. You better close them on up, 'cause they're starting to spread. Those doggies got a roaming in their head. A whoopie-tie-I-O, move 'em up the road, riding for 30 and found. Cross the Red River and you know we're Montana. Cross the Red River and you know we're Montana. Cross the Red River and you know we're Montana bound. Far across the sunny ranges, up the foothills through the pass, winds the trail we used to travel, rain-washed now and dim with grass. It is hard to trace old partner, only we know where it lies. We that learned its lonely reaches, with the sunset in our eyes. You can trace it down the ridges and along the canyon rim, but a steel bridge leaps the river where our horses used to swim. Our old fort is full of quicksand, and the old blazed trees are down, gone to feed the hungry engines in some smoky mining town. Gone the years fly on, old partner, and the last faint wheel tracks fade. We are scattered like the ashes of the campfires that we made. Do you mind that stretch of prairie where we fought the Reds away? Hey, old pard, do you remember how the bullets hummed that day? Now it's farms and green alfalfa instead of open grassy plains, and our wild old trail is sobered to a sleepy country lane. Farther on you'd hardly know it, all the old landmarks are changed. There are gardens now and orchards where our saddle horses ranged, and the trail is cut to pieces crossed with road and fence and lawn, till at last you get to asphalt, and the dim old track is gone. Gone the years fly on, old partner, and the last faint wheel tracks fade. We are scattered like the ashes of the campfires that we made. Our old trail is nigh forgotten,